All right, here for the NQ80 Daily with Tom. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, good. Yeah, we're going to talk about Matthijs de Ligt and Noussair Mazraoui and a little bit about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. All in the process of being completed. Fabrizio Romano said that de Ligt and Mazraoui is done and they were spotted in Manchester. As we record this, it's basically 100% done, and then West Ham have presented Aaron Wan-Bissaka, so that's completed too. So we're going to talk about these three, which we talked about a little bit in the past. I mean, obviously, but now it's done. We can see the kind of shape of things. Initial thoughts?
Because I guess it's United, like there's been a lot of skepticism. There's been a lot of people saying, oh yeah, de Ligt failed at Juventus and it failed at Bayern. Mazraoui was just like he's injured all the time. He's not good enough for Bayern, blah, blah, blah. But I think most of that is bullshit and most of that is anti-Unitedness. And I guess a lot of kind of people are looking at historic United transfers and I think not really actually like realistically looking at this, because I think, well, for one, like de Ligt was good enough to stay at Juventus. He just left because he wanted to leave. Like he got slated by Bonucci when he did leave at the time. And he was good enough for Bayern. Like he was, like if you look at like all the games that like de Ligt played last season, he got injured, yeah, a fair bit. But if you look at the Champions League run, and he started every single game. Like he was always the number one or number two centre back to play for Bayern last season. And the reason why they're getting rid of him is because the new company's coming in and wants to bring in his own centre backs in with him, and that means that one centre back of the three that they have, Upamecano, Kim, and de Ligt, one of those three has to leave. Obviously, they signed Eric Dyer on a free, but de Ligt makes the most sense to leave because he is going to fetch the biggest fee. That doesn't mean he's the worst of the three. He's the best of the three. And he's going to fetch the biggest fee. He's also on the biggest wages out of those three as well. So like there's a lot more nuance to this than the fact that, oh yeah, de Ligt's failed at Bayern, he's failed at Juventus. He's not at all. And he's a quality operator. I think there's a couple of things that I fear with him. I think potentially he's not the best athlete in the world. But he's still quality and a great operator in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think the weaknesses in his game are really around acceleration. So his actual top speed is not bad at all. And in terms of his athletics, he's strong.
Yeah, he's a strong boy.
Fat thighs and big calves and a fat neck. And, he feels like he spends a fair bit of time in the gym.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to get bullied by anyone. Like it's that first 3 or 5 yards on the turn that I think is the biggest weakness. I don't think that means you can't play a high line. I mean, by the way, Ten Hag has shown no inclination towards playing a high line at any point. So I feel like that's one of those myths that we're going to keep talking about. And in fact, actually what they're going to do is press high and then drop back. And the fullbacks won't join the press. We'll see about that one. It's not really it's kind of neither one nor t'other. But that's not the topic of the conversation. I think de Ligt is fine. Like, he has missed a fair few games, most of them, like 60 odd in his career, but a lot of them were last season, like 30 something games he missed last season. So, it could still be Bayern pulling one over on us, which they've done before, of course. But I hope not, hope and suspect not. I think he'll fit in very easily. There won't be a lot of adaptation to the Premier League. I expect him to be able to fit in and be good straight away. There are, of course, those question marks. But which teams play super nippy forwards and will try and catch us on the break? Those would be the ones to worry about.
I just think there's so much negativity around this signing because I feel like de Ligt was maybe 18, 19 and everyone thought he was going to be the best centre-back that's ever lived since Baresi or whatever. And I feel that because he hasn't quite reached those levels, he's not. And I think kind of people underrate him because of that. But he's still really good. And he's also really young. And defenders don't come into their prime you would say like 27, 28. So like, I think he has, and like his leadership qualities are going to be massive for us as well. Like he's like him and Leacher, if those two can keep themselves fit, and then obviously Yoro as the I guess the third option, to be honest, because you would think that it would be really, really nice if Yoro can be the third guy in his first couple of years, as he's obviously really young and he doesn't have that pressure on him. Obviously, the big question marks with both Leacher and De Ligt are the injuries and them staying fit. And every centre back that we've ever signed since 2010 has always just struggled with injuries. It's just ridiculous. Our track record with those boys.
Yeah.
But that is great business, in my opinion.
And for a decent fee. Yeah. I mean, it's like 40 million plus an add-on, but yeah.
In my opinion, there is no doubt that De Ligt will show that he's a quality footballer. And there is no doubt in my mind that nothing in my mind says that De Ligt's going to come to the Premier League and get found out. There's absolutely no way. And if this happens, then clip it as much as you want. It's not going to happen. He's not going to come to the Premier League and get found out. If anything, he might get a few injuries, but there's no way he's not good enough for Man United. No way.
Yeah. No, I agree. Weaknesses in his game, but there's something about social media that it's either you're the best in the world or a complete flop. You know, it's like
that's it.
There's no in between. And in fact, 99.9999% of footballers are in between.
Yeah,
I think he'll do just fine. It's kind of interesting. We've got a lot of centre backs now, so obviously Johnny Evans and Maguire and Lindelof, Yoro, De Ligt, and Lisandro Martinez. There's too many. I imagine Lindelof will be sold, and Johnny Evans hopefully won't get to play many games, which, he's fine and classy, and he did great the weekend, but he's 37 years old, and you wouldn't really expect him to play an awful lot. He was surprised he played an awful lot. But anyway, as the centre-backs now have a good complement of them, and won't it be interesting if they all stay fit all season?
Yes.
Once Yoro's back. Fullback, so Mazraoui, direct replacement for Wan-Bissaka, and couldn't be more different, really. Wan-Bissaka, of course, never really developed much of that attacking game. I think in the final third wasn't really asked to be honest. He's not the overlapping kind of fullback. He's never done that, and he's not really the sort of underlapping, inverting, like possession-based fullback. So it was hard to say what he is really. I think that's part of the reason he's been sold. He's good in a more defensive team. Because it's not really what West Ham were building either. So it'll be interesting to see how he fits in there. Yeah. Mazraoui, like the question marks will be over injuries. He got a lot of injuries at Bayern. He didn't really before that. He's obviously played under Ten Hag before. The Dutchness of United at the moment is like at 11, isn't it? So, obviously he's Morocco international.
I think he's actually, I feel like he was born in the Netherlands, though, Mazraoui.
He was born in the Netherlands.
I think so.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that's true. Or at least grew up there. And he's, great attacking skills. I've always thought, not sure he likes defending much, but we'll see how he does. It says, with Shaw, touchwood, fit for a lot of the season. Harry Amas towards the back end of the season, getting more and more game time, maybe. It says United are going to play two attacking fullbacks. Dalot somewhere in the middle, isn't he? I feel kind of positive about this one, despite his injury record being quite bad.
Me too. The only fear I have with Mazraoui is not his ability at all. It's his injuries, and I feel like there's potential that Mazraoui might come in and look really, really good and like surprise a lot of United fans who've not seen him play by how good he is, and being like, "Oh my God, why have Bayern let this guy go?" And then him getting injured all the time and becoming almost like an Anthony Martial, who's absolutely loved by a certain minority of our fan base, being like, this guy's amazing, look at his YouTube reel type of thing, because he's super skillful and super great in the final third, and just a very YouTubey type of player. But then it kind of just doesn't give it consistently because he's getting injured all the time, a little bit like Martial, and eventually he'll become like a very annoying player that we've got who's like, oh, he's great when he plays, but he just doesn't play enough. That is my.
Let's go through his injuries. So torn muscle, 5 games, general fitness 1 game, torn muscle 10 games, ill 1 game, muscular problems 2 games, inflammation 10 games, soft transfer marked. So they're not giving a lot of details. That's all at Bayern. Then we've got a few minor ones, an eye injury for which he lost 20 games. I don't remember that one. IX.
No.
I guess I wasn't following it closely enough. And lots of little ones. I think it's the kind of fairly frequent muscle injuries that will be of concern.
Yeah.
But yeah, he missed last season 47, 10 and 28 days to injury. Oh, and another 11 and then 60 something days the season before. Yeah, it's a lot.
It is, and that's the reason why Bayern are getting rid of him, because he's probably on a decent wage. And it's like, can we really rely on this guy? Like, he's been here a bit of time. He's obviously super talented, but we could probably get him off the wage book and get someone a bit more reliable in for the foreseeable future. And they've obviously got like other players who can play there as well. Whereas for us, it'd be I think he's better than Dalot personally. But he's also a really, really good second choice at left back and a really good second choice at right back as well if Dalot is ahead of him. So I think this makes sense.
Yeah, the challenge with having 2 highly injury susceptible players is they might be injured at the same time.
Yes.
I mean, you'd kind of like them to not be, but that's not how things work. So that is a bit of a risk. I guess we're all just kind of hoping that, and of course, I mean, he tried Lisandro Martinez at left back. I don't know if I want to see that often.
No.
It's a bit, I mean, he's perfectly comfortable in possession. I don't know if he's that quick and he's going to be a sort of overlapping type, but I don't want to see it that often because it's a bit Pep or Arteta-like. Honestly, that's the biggest reason I hate it. Playing 4 centre-backs across the back line, which is what Arteta's going to do this season. No thanks. Yeah. Don't like that. But it would really help the club if in 3 months, as Ten Hag said, Harry Amas is like ready for the first team and whatever the tactical instructions he needs to get right come true, because I think his ceiling's really high.
And like you say, Martinez isn't, well, we want him at centre back because that's where his best position, but he does. I love having a left footer at left back, and Mazraoui is obviously right footed, so even him playing at left back he's more likely to go down the line, obviously, than Wan-Bissaka was, and when Dalot plays left back as well, and he does it more often. He does it for Morocco, and he's suitable there. But you do want that left footer, and that's what will be great if Amas can come on leaps and bounds this season, because technically he's beautiful beautiful in possession, and we saw that so much in pre-season. And just that left-footed ability. I mean, Luke Shaw made his debut, I think, at 18 at Southampton and kicked on immediately. And what we signed him maybe when he was 19, 20, like we really early days. So it's maybe the time is right for him.
Well, especially with Shaw averaging like something like 50-something% of games missed. So he had a great first season under Ten Hag, did Luke Shaw. Wasn't injured at all, basically available for most games. And then last season, obviously not. And then he's not quite fit enough to start at the moment. Well, maybe he'll be in the squad. I mean, he's been training, so I don't think it was an injury. I think it was just came back, hadn't done much training post-England. So, touch wood, because it does really matter for our balance. All right, that's it. I mean, we've got, another couple of weeks of the transfer window. It would be very nice if they could do a deal for a midfielder. I'd like it to be a really good one. I suspect it will be a bit of a one. Whether it's Ugarte, Paris Saint-Germain drop their fee. I guess a lot would be going to have to sell Lindelof. And honestly, it wouldn't be bad if we sold Sancho, would it?
No.
So, but do a Paris Saint-Germain and Well, yeah, it could be. It's just Paris Saint-Germain have bought Doué, haven't they?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That kind of fills that left-sided attacker spot. Maybe less likely now.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, everyone. We'll catch you tomorrow. Bye now.